We start off with a 10-minute run. After the run, we do what's called a set. We do jumping jacks, push-ups, squats, like all that kind of stuff. And we wrap our hands.
It's a daily ritual for Michael Robertson. The 16-year-old is on the high school boxing team at Aquinas Institute. 6 days a week, he gears up to get in the ring. His headgear is high-tech. Before every match, he slips a small sensor inside his headband and then puts a helmet on. Jab after jab, the Linx Impact Assessment System, or IAS, sends real-time data to his coach and parents through an app. Not only does Linx IAS help spot signs of a concussion, it can also uncover other more common types of brain injuries.
One of the things that I look at with the device is not only how hard they're getting hit, but if they're getting hit how often, with blows that register.
Aquinas has been field testing the concussion sensor for about 2 years. A company called BlackBox Biometrics created Linx IAS to be easy to use. Tapping a single button on the sensor will trigger either a green, yellow, or red LED, with red being the indicator that the hit was too hard to ignore.
We'll check with the system, and we'll also check with the student. How did the blow feel? And they were pretty consistent.
The blow is also given an impact assessment score.
That gives a number from 1 to 100, and so the individual can gauge the severity of each of those impacts on that scale. But we also capture all the detailed data, which is really critical for research.
David Borkholder is in charge of the technology at BlackBox. The team has released the second generation of Linx IAS and is brainstorming ways to push the technology forward.
Another emerging area that I think is actually going to be even more important are repetitive subconcussive hits.
But what happens to the brain during a concussion?
The brain's made up of cells that are kind of like wires, like spaghetti strands. And when someone gets hit in the head, their head rotates, and the brain rotates inside. And when it rotates fast enough, those wires stretch. And when those wires stretch, they swell up and stop working.
So subconcussive hits refers to the other brain injuries I mentioned, which you can get without having the symptoms of a concussion. And according to Dr. Jeff Bazarian of the University of Rochester Medical Center, it's important for sensors like Linx IAS to be able to pick up on those too.
There are football players that get hit all the time, day in and day out, never have a concussion. We look at their brains, it looks like they have some mild brain injury.
Over the years, more companies have introduced impact sensors, and more doctors have diagnosed concussions. Bazarian says that wasn't always the case.
So people would say, oh, these problems that you're having are not rooted in anything real. They're just a psychiatric response to being hit. But now that we can see it, people are saying, oh, wow, this is kind of like a stroke or a mini stroke. There's actually injury here.
There's an adage in boxing that the best defense is to not get hit. Arioli is a firm believer that technology can't take the place of his experience and good training, but says he thinks devices like Linx IAS are useful.
Well, I could see if they need to keep their hands up, but it gives me something to show them, physically show them. Look how often you're getting hit. What's the story here?
For the Innovation Trail, I'm Sasha-Ann Simons.